Hi, this is Shalaya with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going over our listings and landing pages class. We're going to start by logging into command at agent.kw.com. When logging in, as a reminder, your username is not case sensitive, however, your password is. So if you have any trouble logging in, you can click this little eyeball icon here, and that will give you a preview of your password to be sure that it is keyed in properly. Once you have your login typed in, we can click on sign in. So the first thing that we are going to do before we jump into our landing pages is make sure that our marketing profile is up to date. All of our marketing materials and site pages feed directly from that profile, so we always want to make sure that that is current and reflecting all of the correct information. So we're going to get there by clicking on our name in the top right corner. And then we're going to go down to settings. From here on the left side, we're going to go under connect settings and then marketing profile. So once you are in your marketing profile, you always want to be sure that this toggle in the top right is green. That means that it is reflecting to your marketing. So we're going to go through the whole marketing profile from top to bottom. So first we have our headshot photo here. You do want to be sure that your headshot photo is cropped down to a square. If it looks distorted in this circle here, that is how it will show up on your marketing. So you do want to have that adjusted. If you have any trouble cropping your photo down, you can email it over to us and we can help you with getting that cropped and uploaded for you. Next, we have our team logo. So if you are on a team and have a team logo, you can add that here. If you are not on a team, we still recommend having an image uploaded here because some of your marketing materials will automatically pull that team logo in. So if you don't have an image uploaded, it will show up as a broken image on your marketing. So if you're not on a team, we usually recommend adding like a generic KW logo or a realtor logo, anything like that. Just something to throw in as a placeholder there. And although the headshot has to be cropped down to a square, your team logo and market center logo do not. If your logos look distorted here, those will correct themselves on your marketing. And I'll show you that when we get down to the market center logo. So after those, we have our details, which is our information. So you do want to be sure that your name is reflecting the same name that's on your license to be sure you are compliant. You have your license number here. If you are on a team, your team name can go here. If you have a professional job title that you like to use, you can add that here. If you have a custom slogan that you use for your business, you have the option to add slogans. Next, we have our designations and credentials. If you're not sure how to get this little R logo here, if you hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and then type in 0174, that'll give you that symbol there. Next, we have our military affiliations. So if you do have any affiliation with the military, we have active duty, reserves, veteran, military spouse, Gold Star family, military family member, National Guard, or supporter patriot. Once you select your affiliation from this list, you will get another drop-down menu to select the branch that you are affiliated with. Once you add those in, be sure you hit the add button over here to save those changes. Next, we have our bio. So the way your bio looks in this box on your marketing profile is how it will show up on your marketing. So if you do have line breaks in between your paragraphs like these or anything like that, this is where you want to make sure that that is reflecting the way you want it to look. If you have any trouble updating your bio or anything like that, you can email us and we can help you with getting your profiles updated for you. Next, we have our contact information. So your mobile phone number. If you are by chance in another country, you can change the country code by clicking on this drop-down arrow here. Your office phone number, which will be your Market Center office number. If you or your Market Center has a fax number that you want to add, you can throw that in here. Next, we have our business email. So you are not required to use your KW email. If you do have another email that you use for your business, you can add that in here. Otherwise, you will probably see your KW email in this box here. Next, we have our website URL. This will most likely be the URL to your command site, unless you do have a custom website or a custom domain that you are using. When utilizing the command URLs, we do like to point out that you do not want to have www in front of your domain, as the command sites are not compatible with that formatting, so it will take you to a broken website. We do recommend being sure that you have this HTTPS in here, as that is what makes your link clickable on your marketing. Under that, we have our Market Center information. So here's our Market Center logo. So like I said before, if the logo looks distorted like this one does here, you don't need to adjust this. The logos do automatically correct themselves. It is only that headshot photo that you want to be sure looks clear in this preview. For your Market Center address, we do recommend being sure that this information is always up to date. If by chance you've transferred offices, your office has relocated, anything like that, always make sure this is reflecting the correct address for you. Next, we have our compliance items. So if your office has any text that is required for compliance, you can add that to your legal footer text here. We don't recommend adding the each office is independently owned and operated verbiage here, as that is already automatically on your marketing. So if you were to type that in here, it might show up twice on your marketing materials. Below that, we have our legal footer links. So for some of our market centers, they have required links for compliance. For instance, our Texas agents have to have their commission information links in here, and New York agents have to have their standard operating procedure. If you do have any legal footer links that you need to add, you can simply click on the add link button. You would put in your link title here and then the URL to your link. If you need to delete these, you can just simply click the red trash can icon over here and it will remove that line for you. Below that, we have legal footer images. These images are very small. They're thumbnail size images. You'll see in the description, they are 128 by 48 pixels, so not very big. You probably don't want to utilize this for any big advertising or things like that. You might want to use this for additional credential logos or maybe vendor logos if your vendors require you to have some kind of logo on your marketing, things like that. Under that, we have our social media links. So if you have your business pages set up, you can add your links here. This will allow your links to be shown on your website. So you have your Facebook page. If you have a Twitter, you can add that. Instagram, if you have your own YouTube channel, and your LinkedIn profile. So those are all of the options you can add in here. These are not required. You'll see they are optional. So if you do leave these empty, you're not going to get flagged when you try to save your profile there. Next, we have Google Analytics ID. So Command is working to update as Google Analytics has recently updated their services. But the way this would work is you would set this up through Google Analytics and add your tracking ID here, and this would track your traffic going to your website. Once you have all of your information updated, be sure to click Save at the bottom. That's going to refresh the page and let you know that your marketing profile was successfully saved. So now that we have our marketing profile updated, we are going to go under the listings tab. Now, if you are still getting comfortable with what each of these icons stand for over here, if you click on the red KW in the top left corner, that will bring out a description for each icon until you get comfortable with what each of these are. So we are going to go under the listings tab here. So when you go under the listings tab, you will be able to see your listings listed here. If you do not see your listings, that most likely means that you have to sync your MLS still. You can do that by clicking the Sync My MLS button here. You do want to be sure that you have an active listing that you are the primary agent on when you first sync this up. Once you set up this initial sync, it should automatically sync any future listings from then on. So you will not have to do this with every listing. It's just to get that first initial connection with your command site. So you have the option to search by listing address or MLS number. We find that it works best searching by MLS number. So you would enter your MLS number here, click on next. Now, because we don't have an active listing, we don't have one to show as an example, but you would throw the MLS number there, click on the next button. The next screen will ask you if you are the primary list agent or co-listing agent. Once you select that, you will continue, and that will send you a verification email. And once you follow that link, it will set up that sync and you'll be able to see your listings here. If you do run into any trouble when you are trying to sync your listings here, you can send us an email and we would be happy to take a look at that for you. So at the top, if we switch over from My Listings to Search, so this is where you can search for listings. This is kind of similar as searching on like Zillow or Realtor.com, things like that. So you can either search by property address, MLS number, KWLS ID, or you can zoom in on an area on the map. So I'm just going to zoom in down here. So once you zoom in, you'll be able to see listings populate on the right side. Now this pulls from all MLS listings. It is not just KW listings. So once you search for the listing, if we click on one here, this is going to pull in all the MLS information that is entered into your MLS listing. So all of your listing details, photos, if there's any open houses scheduled, you'll be able to see those here. If there is a virtual tour uploaded, which this one has one here, and any additional links that might be connected to the listing. Everything feeds right over from the MLS. So that is our listings tab there. So now we can dive into our landing pages. So once again, we can click on that top left corner. To get to our website pages, we want to go to Consumer. The Consumer tab is going to be our last option here. So you'll see at the top, we have agent site pages and we have landing pages. Now, if you are not sure what the difference is between these, agent site pages are pages that are live on your website, and landing pages are one-off standalone pages. So those are individual website pages. They have their own URL link, and they are not directly linked to your website, whereas agent site pages are on your website. So if we open our website here and go under our drop-down menu on the top right, so these are agent site pages. So landing pages will not add to this list. Landing pages are just standalone pages. And following back up on our marketing profile, if you add those social media links, this is where those social media links go here. So we're going to close out of this. So we are going over landing pages today. So to create a new landing page, we're going to go to the top right corner and click on Create New Page. And so it's going to ask you if you want to create on your agent site or as a landing page. So we are going to select landing page here and then click Create. So before I get started on building our listing landing page, I'm going to go over all of the widgets on the right side that you can use for your landing pages. So first we have agent branding and branded header. So I'll show you the differences between these two. So agent branding will have your headshot, your name, and information here. And then branded header will just be kind of a more crisp, cleaner look. We usually use the header over the agent branding just because it looks cleaner. However, you can use whichever you prefer when you are building your landing page out. So we have our branded header, agent branding. We have our lead form. So the lead form can be used to capture leads. So if your clients fill out this form here, once they submit that, they will come into your command database as a new lead. Next, we have our legal footer. So typically when you are building your pages, you want to add your branded header and your legal footer. And all of this information down here feeds right from your marketing profile. So again, that's why it's important to be sure that your market center address and information is reflecting correctly. We have our listing widget. So this is how we would add our listing to our landing page. We have Market Snap. So Market Snap is a statistic snap of a neighborhood. So you can customize this and select a specific neighborhood, and it just gives you some basic stats and statistics here. You have your local expert. So this is just information about you as an agent. You'll see it pulls in your bio from your marketing profile, as well as your contact information and a link to download your mobile app. Next, you have the option to add videos. We have a testimonial capture form. So you can create a landing page to capture testimonials. And we have a download my app widget. Also down at the bottom, we have a drop-down box here where you can also add images and text boxes. So for our landing page today, we are going to do a listing landing page. So listing landing pages can be used to advertise listings for your clients. So I already have my branded header here, so I'm going to grab my legal footer as well. Now, when I am building landing pages, I personally prefer to build from the bottom up. The reason for that is when you are dragging widgets in, when you click and drag it over, that green line is where your widget is going to drop. So sometimes if you are building out a bunch of stuff on your page, once you try to add stuff to the bottom, it can be hard to see that green line sometimes. So I'll show you here. So if I add my listing widget here, and I want to add stuff down below if I didn't have my footer there, it's kind of hard to see exactly where that's going to drop if you have a bunch of stuff down here. So I find it's easier to build from the bottom up just to kind of see where my stuff is dropping. And that's just personal preference. You can kind of build these out however you prefer, whatever is easier for you. So for my landing page that I am going to do here, we need our header and footer. Now I want to have a lead form at the bottom of my listing. So I'm going to grab that and drop that in here. And then above my lead form, I am going to drop the listing widget. So once we have our widgets in here, we are going to go to the bottom right corner and click on Configure Widgets. This is how we are going to set these up. So you'll see it's going to say no listing selected. So we are going to browse listings, and this is where we are going to select the listing for our landing page. So you have the option to search by property address, MLS number, and KWLS ID. Just like the listings tab, we find it's easier to search by MLS number. I'm going to grab a MLS number to use here. So once you put your MLS number in, it should be the first option at the top. If you do have trouble locating it, you might have to search a little lower. As you'll see, there is duplicate MLS numbers from different MLS platforms. So once you find the correct listing that you are looking for, you can click on select. And then on the right side, you'll see it has the address here. And then you'll have all of your property images here. So you're going to select which image that you want to use for this top main image here. I'm going to leave that as the first image. And once you have that selected, you will hit save and apply. And that's going to update your listing widget with that listing for you. So this pulls all of the information from the MLS listing. So all of your details, your description, all of your photos, as well as a map here. And then down below our widget, we have our lead form widget here. So that is all we need to do for this page. Now, before we do save or publish this, we're going to rename it. So I'm going to go to the top left corner and I'm going to delete this text here. And I'm going to name it as the property address, just so I know what this page is. It just makes it a lot easier to sort if you have multiple landing pages created. That way you know which page is which and what it reflects to. So once you have that done, you can either save, which will save it as a draft. It will not be published for public view yet, or you can publish the page and that will make the page active to use. So I'm going to publish. And it's going to ask, are you sure you want to update as an active page? I'm going to say yes. So now if I toggle from agent site pages to landing pages, I will be able to see that landing page here. So if you look on the left side, you'll see there's these green toggles and some are not. So if it is green, that means the page is currently active and public to see. If it is not green, that means the page is not actively public. And you'll also see that only the active pages can be clicked on. The inactive ones are not. Another thing you can do is update the URL link. So you'll see the end of this URL has a bunch of letters and numbers. So if we go to the right side and click the three dots here, we have the option to edit the page, change the URL, deactivate the page, or delete the page. So we are going to change the URL here. Now you can't change the first part of it at all. However, we can change the end of it. So I'm going to change this to the property address. Now you cannot add spaces or any special characters. However, you can add dashes to separate your words. Or you can just type it all as one word together, however you prefer to do it. Once you have that updated, go ahead and click on create. And that will automatically update your URL link right away here. So if we click on this link here, that will open our landing page up. So here's how our page looks once it is updated and live. So there is our listing landing page. So the next page I will show you how to create is a open house sign-in sheet page. So you can use this to create a open house sign-in sheet. You could generate a QR code for the page and set that up at your open house. So when people are walking in, they can scan your QR code and sign in on your open house page. And what that would do is that would put them into your contact database as a new lead. So if we go to create new page, we are going to change from agent site to landing page. So again, we are going to grab our branded header and legal footer. So we are going to use our lead form, but I'm also going to add the listing in here. So it's going to be similar to the previous page, except we are going to swap those widgets around so that the lead form is on top. We like adding the listing to the bottom as well, just in case anyone is, say, driving by, they see your open house sign, they stop in, but they don't know anything about the property. They can pull up your open house sign-in sheet and they can view all of the listing details right there when they sign in. So I'm going to grab the listing widget and the lead form widget. So once I have these in here, I'm going to configure widgets. And so the first thing I'm going to do, so it's going to start from the first widget we added, but I want to adjust the header as well. So if I go to the top right and click on these arrows, I can navigate between my different widgets here. So I'm going to go to the first widget, which is our branded header, and I'm going to add a header text here. I'm going to say, welcome to our open house. And then I'm going to click save and apply, and that will update my header here. So I'm going to use those arrows to navigate through my widgets here. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is my lead form. So we can edit the header text. We just cannot edit the default details in these boxes here. So we are going to edit this text to say sign in here. And then we will save and apply. And then we are going to use those arrows again to switch to our listing widget. And just like the last page, we are going to find our listing here. And select. And there we go. So just like the last page, we just swapped out the listing and lead form and changed this into a sign-in sheet. So again, we will rename the page in the top left. So we'll say open house sign-in. Let's say 625. That will just help us determine which page this is for. So once that's all done, we will hit publish. And we are going to hit yes, update. And once again, we're going to toggle from agent site pages to landing pages. And we can adjust our URL link here. And then we have our sign-in sheet here. And if you want to change the formatting of these, add anything additional, or remove anything, you can customize these pages however you prefer and make them your own. But that about wraps up our listing and landing pages class today. If you do have any questions or run into any trouble, you can email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thank you for joining today. I hope you all have a great rest of your week.